You good? Okay, I'm calling this meeting to order. Can everybody rise and able to flag salute? I would pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. The meeting of April 22, 2024 was included in the list of meetings notice sent to the Hunter County Democrat and Courier News on January 3, 2024. Posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall on that date and has remained continuously posted as required. In addition, a copy of the notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Borough Clerk. Deborah, roll call, please.
Sure. Councilwoman Engelhardt? Here. Councilwoman Pissarro? Here. Councilman Levitt?
Here.
Council President Long?
Here.
Councilman Parker?
Here.
Council Vice President Rossetti? Mayor Kara?
I'm here. We now have a work session. I do want to move I have two changes to them on the agenda. One is I just want to add to the executive session an update on Activa. And then the other thing is the introduction of introduction ordinance 2024-11, which is number 9, to have that follow the executive session. May I have a motion to amend the agenda, please?
I'll move.
For a second,
Purpose.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so I just wanted a couple of updates. There was a pre-construction kickoff meeting last Tuesday on 4/16 with Neela. PS&S, our architectural firm in Flemington Borough. I believe my champion was there, and I believe maybe somebody from the police department. On Friday, the 19th, Neela picked up 3 sets of signed and sealed drawings for permitting. Currently, Neela is submitting all of the submittals to PS&S for review as they await permits. The DPW is working on getting the survey done of the property for the easement to 12 for local surveyor Dave Norton. We should have that within a couple of weeks. I also want you to know that Governor Murphy personally contacted me about a week and a half ago for a public announcements that we had received a full amount of $1.425 million from the FEMA HUD to do Academy Street. It is outright grant money. I can't say enough about Remington Vernick for writing this. You know, when I proposed them 2 years ago, I told you all that they were extraordinary at sewer work and all their connections with EPA and DEP, and that they're amazing at getting this money. But this one really surprised even me. So that award will be coming in soon. We did get paper notice of that 2 days ago, I think Friday. It was very nice of the governor to personally reach out and let me know. I did let the council president know right away and wanted to surprise you all because I know this is, you know, on the big list of all of the DPW projects. This came in absolutely the last because of this small amount of territory it really affects. And it was painful for all of us to know people are hurting and we just don't have money to do that. And then do something like Main Street and the sewer, which is, you know, affects everybody. And so, I mean, this is great. This is great. And I just want to personally thank Terry Vogt and his team that wrote this grant. And they said, you know, he kept telling us he was very confident that he really believed that it hit every bell and whistle. And my gosh, it sure did. So it's really exciting. Also, the parking committee, my little subcommittee met last week for the first time. Councilwomen Pissarro and Engelhardt, as well as planning board member Jim Hill, myself, and professionals Jerry Rotello, Mike Campion, Jay Troutman, and Beth McManus were all present. Our attorney was busy writing ordinances for us, so he could dig out. So it was a very good meeting. A lot of assignments went out, including there's some of us are gonna be doing a major drive around the town on Friday, looking at, parking issues, places where we could get some more parking spaces, get people off the street. The chief is investigating, different kinds of parking meter potentials. Jay Troutman's got a lot of assignments on, finding out what's going on with future parking in the Union Hotel parking lot. Are they gonna charge people who go there for dinner? Are they charging overnight guests hotel? You know, are they charging people for a parking spot? If they have an apartment, how much is the second one gonna cost? I mean, we need to know these things so we can put them all into the mix. So, we'll be meeting again in the middle of May. And moving this along, everybody's gotta have their assignments done and back to the group, for that meeting. And, finally, there's a lot of ordinances that state has been requiring us to do and deal with. Oh, there's a second thing to tell you also about, there's another one coming, which is a tree ordinance that is also now mandated by the state. That's supposed to be introduced and in by May, but there's no enforcement in the state law. They just want to know we're working on it. There's no, like, they can't come after us if we haven't done it. They just, you know, it's just typical DEP stuff. So, Shade Tree has gone through it very diligently, and, Environmental Commission, wanted to have a conversation with Shade Tree, the chairs. So I think we're gonna be, you know, and Councilwoman Rossetti, who is a very diligent liaison to Shade Tree, you know, they has indicated to me multiple times that they really want to have a big conversation about what we want to do. So that's all on me, because I've been like busy with a million other little things here, but you know, we are moving that along, and hopefully we can have something introduced in May. I think is, you know, because everybody seems to think that the state ordinance, it's probably easier to just adopt it. And maybe they can even a little stricter as far as fees and fines go. And then the only other thing I want to tell you is that Ken McCormick, our fire marshal, informed me that our multi-family home inspector has retired and he lives in Bluefield and does not want to drive to Flemington anymore. So he is not going to do our inspections any longer. This is a very hard position to keep. There are very few multi-family home inspectors. The state inspector is currently doing our inspections. I asked, one of the things about our inspections is that under the law, every multi-family home has to be inspected every, I think it's like 2 years or 4 years. And we've been paying inspectors to just inspect, but we have not been paying inspectors to do summons. And so Ken is working out an hourly rate so that when there are infringements found, when there are, you know, 15 people living in a 1-bedroom house are found, and our police officer in the back, sure, we think of multiple places that this is happening. We actually have somebody who can go and do the summons. Right now we don't, and none of our inspectors have been willing to do summonses, so it's been an issue. Right, because we don't pay for them. It's not in their contract. We're gonna get that fixed with this next round and get this under control at the request of both the police department and our fire marshal. So that's the end of my report. Council president. Couldn't we skip the work session? We don't have a work session. Oh, we do have a work session. I'm sorry. Oh, right. I'm so sorry. I just skipped over it. Who's on for this?
Terry,
Hi, Terry.
let me make
If I had
it.
known you were on, I would have said such nice things about you. You want to bring him in? Who else?
I did.
I can't read his up.
Who's Mark?
Mark is with this team.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I assume it's not like, what's the last name of Mark?
Who, Hubal?
Yeah, he's with Terry.
I don't know who Joris is.
Terry? What?
That might just be good.
He's on mute.
Terry, you're on mute.
Thank you. Hey, everybody, can you hear me?
Who's on from your team besides Mark?
All right, I have 2 people here tonight. I see Mark Hubal. Mark is our PFAS specialist. One of my other staffers is watching the meeting. His name is James Orris.
He doesn't have-
Jim,
We don't have to make him a panelist?
yes, please.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not on the agenda, but in addition to talking about funding for PFAS, if the borough has time, we'd like to talk briefly about the lead and galvanized service lines as well, because that's another deadline, and that's also IBEC. Mark is here to talk about PFAS. He's our specialist. To give everybody background, PFAS are toxic compounds which entered uh, public water supplies, including Flemington. And there's two chemical companies, I believe, 3M and DuPont, for which class action suits were filed and won, and claims are being taken against both companies. Mark is working with an attorney hired by the borough, I believe, Mr. Sullivan, to make sure that we have adequate claims in on both. For any money that we do not get towards doing the necessary work, New Jersey IBank is offering blended low interest loans long term, including a minimum 50% principal forgiveness. So they're basically paying at least half of it, possibly more. If we can get the principal forgiveness and the low interest loan and hopefully claim money, hopefully most of the costs will not be on the borough dime. And again, Mark is our expert. We've had meetings offline with both Mike Campion and Josh Parks talking about the work. We just have to make application right now.
anything else?
No, well, the other thing again, there is another mandate that Flemington and other water supplies have, which deals with lead and galvanized services. I believe this has been discussed at past meetings. That's another one where you have a 2031 deadline to complete all the work, which seems far away. But we really have to get going in terms of planning, design, permitting, um, getting the work lined up. Again, this is also IBank. This would be minimum 50% principal forgiveness, blended low interest loan on the balance. Jim Morris is here, I believe. Our discussion with Mike Campion and Josh on this was to get the process started. We have to get into permitting. We have to do investigations to quantify the service lines and to determine per state protocol what lines are lead and have to be replaced and what lines don't. There's a very strict process. You're basically guilty until proven innocent with regard to these various services. If you cannot prove that they're not lead based in some form, DEP and EPA is ultimately going to require the borough to replace the service. So we're actually looking to make IBank applications on both projects.
Anybody have any questions? None at all? Okay,
That's all I have, Mayor.
thank you all so much. Thanks again for the Cabot Street money.
That's our pleasure.
Okay.
It's nice getting money.
Yes, it is, especially when you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Take care, everybody.
All right, thanks. All right, Council President, your report.
I honestly don't have much to report this time, besides the fact that, as the OEM coordinator pointed out, we've been lucky. storm and disaster free for 2 weeks. That's all. That's all I got. Yeah. I'm gonna have to jinx it.
I jinxed it, right? Council Vice President Rosetti?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, so Shade Tree, they are having their Arbor Day tree planting this Friday, the 26th at 1 p.m. I did confirm the public is welcome to attend since it's being held outdoors at Riffus though. Also, they have an upcoming event dedicating the holly tree to Miss Edna Petrick. That will be held on Mother's Day weekend, but the Saturday, so May 11th. I believe that's also at 1 p.m. I have in my notes here. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who did the Tidy Up Tucumurgan Park this weekend. I'm sure Miss Engelhardt is going to give more details on that too, but it really was a great day. So thank you to Councilwoman Engelhardt, as well as our AmeriCorps Ambassador, Julia Whitley from our community here. We did amazing work there at the park. It's looking great. So thank you all. And that's it.
Just a quick question, is the tree planting for Edna Petrick's at Fleming Council? Yes, it is.
Yes, sorry. Yes, it is. Sorry. Yes.
Great, thank you so much. Let me see where last week I went this way. Okay. Councilman Levitt.
Thank you. We had a busy month for the HPC. They reviewed 5 applications, and I'm looking forward to seeing all those improvements. And as always, thank the homeowners that come in and work with them to improve their buildings and honoring and maintaining our historic character. We had a presentation there from George Malone about preserving 1 Church Street, and they're happy to see what's going to happen with that. And they are still looking for volunteers for the historic house tours on June 1st. And just as a reminder, if you get a volunteer, you get a free ticket. And I will say I did do it last year, and I'm going to do it again this year, and I thought it was a really good time. So think about doing it. And over the weekend, I had the honor of being a site leader for the Raritan Headwaters stream cleanup over at the old Agway site. Does anybody know what the name of that stream is over there?
Yeah, I said that's the Bushkill Creek.
Well, that's where I was, and me and some volunteers cleaned up over 850 pieces of trash. Did a fantastic job, and I want to thank the DPW for picking that up today. And lastly, just wanted to say, Councilwoman Engelhardt and Rosetti did a great job with the idea over at Tucumurgan Park.
Great.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilman Parker, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know that. Jet lag is something. Yeah, so just a couple of things. I did attend the construction meeting, pre-construction meeting at the police department. I got to ask a lot of, I got to ask a lot of questions just to make sure that everybody was talking the same language, we were on the same page and having the same deadlines. So I'm pretty confident in that. I like both parties. They both have this. I think they have a good synergy. I really do. So I'm really happy that we just kicked off. Also, so we are. I thank you, Chris Corsini, for going over that letter. I'm working with the police chief, and he wants to send a couple letters to about the car show and parking, and also about beer garden and attendance. And so I asked Chris Corsini if he could take a look at the letters and give us some advice, and he sent it back. And I think there was just one thing that I saw that needed to be added in. That's just about the ordinance, and I think that's perfect. So we need to get this all under control and make sure that people are following our rules as opposed to doing whatever they want to do. The other thing I do, and unfortunately, I don't have the letter. I thought I had it, but one of our officers, Nick Saliba, apparently there was someone who had a mental health issue, and Nick was able to bring that person down and get that person the care that they needed. And the person actually wrote Nick Saliba and thank him for helping him out. So, one of the things about community, I'm so big on community policing, and it's starting to happen. And I hope you guys have seen the police around. And if you haven't, you will be seeing them around in your neighborhoods. But I know they're there at Stengel, and I know they're starting to walk Main Street. But this is why community policing is so important, because people began to get to meet the officers and understand they're not just there to arrest them or to give them a hard time, but actually support them and support the neighborhood and get them the resources they need. So I'm extremely proud of that, and I will make sure that we have the letters. As a matter of fact, I wanted him to come tonight, but he's actually off. So I'm gonna ask him to come to the next meeting so we can read the letters for you guys and give him some accolades for that. Other than that, that is it for me.
Great, thank you. Councilman Sarah?
Okay. This is my big update here. So planning board, because the planning board has a bit of a lag and the meetings are always the day after council meetings. My reports are always going to be a few weeks behind. There's no way around it. So just letting you know, there's been 2 things that have been approved. March 26th, the planning board, Mayor Carroll and myself were recused from that. They have approved Golden Heart Homes, which is a privately owned daycare center, basically, and home health care aides, to come in to 47 Maple Avenue. And they've been approved on variances to provide education, vocation, social skills training, and volunteer work to developmentally delayed adults, 21 and over. There will be 28 individuals in this program. There's no end date or aging out. They can stay in there as long as they want to. There is no plan at this time to actually expand their footprint in the facility. So that, by all intents and for what has been stated in the numerous meetings, it will stay right there at 28. Part of that was hearing that there were 397 individuals in Hunterdon County who could potentially use this service. But one of the people that testified on behalf of this business, they weren't quite sure of how many people actually lived in Flemington. So I'm not positive or quite certain that there will be any kind of set asides for borough residents who could actually use the service, of which one of my neighbors has some, three doors up, who would actually be a perfect fit for this program.
So I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I understand. There's something that's being approved to come into the borough, but it's not necessarily going to benefit the borough. Is that what?
Well, I think the understanding was because we are the county seat and because there are 397 individuals in Hunterdon County, that yes, it would, I guess, benefit the borough. And there were some questions.
It will benefit.
But there's no set asides for it.
No, and we already have 2 facilities here. High Point and Allies are already those kinds of facilities, and River Township has one literally on our border on Grand Boulevard. So, Flemington, once again, that's,
So we get all the,
we get everything from the county that comes, right.
And well, and just to be clear, this is a private business. So they reach out into social services of New Jersey Social Services. And New Jersey Social Services says, we really need this program. So this private business, which to date has really only been like in-home care visiting, they're now going to be opening this facility in Hunterdon County. And I think they also stated that they have one in Freehold and one in Long Branch. So it's coming and it's approved, and it was in the 2022 master plan, I don't think that it was definitely like defined for this use. And then in September of 2023, there were 4 ordinances by the prior seated council, which gave this one where this is, really wanted to use for things to do, as per the master
One of the
plan.
places where you all changed the zoning for it to be entertainment, big box research,
Yeah.
activities, sports, whatever. So this is a D variance.
Yeah. So that's one. And then 2, we had an approval again, Mayor Carroll and I were recused from this one as well. Burkett's appliance location. So if you think at the end of Stengel Road and 9th Street, the old appliance building down there, that will now be, that is now going to be apartments, some mixed use. It will be 2 buildings, 3 stories each. They actually were able to reduce the units by 1 in order to give, that way they didn't have to go for an additional variance. And to me, I think they're parking requirements, if I'm correct. So that one is approved and, that's it on planning board.
So I'm sorry, how many homes?
It's gonna be 2 buildings, 3 stories, and I think 9 apartments, and then there's the other building, which is lower, kind of, it's like an L-shaped development. Which I think the parking's gonna be behind.
They have enough space in that to do all of that?
It was also a D variance.
Yeah, that was a D variance, so.
So currently the master plan allows, currently the master plan allows that 2-story buildings can go up to 3 stories if they put retail on the first floor of one of the buildings. So they're gonna put 2 small stores on Lime Street, and that allowed them to go 3 stories up in a brand new building as well as whatever they're gonna
So
build
do
on
we
top of that.
have the infrastructure to support that?
That's a really good question.
Yeah,
Are
we
we
have
running a housing authority?
I'm just talking about in that
It's a
small
really good
area.
question. Well,
That's
my camp is very concerned about parking on mine and so.
Can I ask a question? Was the variance was for parking on the first floor, correct? That was the only variance that they were seeking? They met the parking requirements for the number of units, but the variance was for parking on the first floor because they wanted to have the parking in the back building on the first floor. Is that correct? There's only one variance that was being sought?
No, no.
How many
there's a couple-
variances
the D-
are being
the
sought?
D- What's a D variance? So I didn't,
Right, I know this one.
so
I didn't read it either.
I can't answer the question.
I was under the impression when I first read about it that the variance was only for the location of the parking, not the amount of parking needed. So I think they met their parking requirement from what I understand, but I'd love to get an update on that if we could. Just to make it so we all can understand and make it clear.
Other than to just let you guys know with the library, I will be reaching out to Mr. Parker to discuss the call box access for the police department. We've been away since.
No worries, yeah.
Yeah, so,
No
and the call box is basically, if there's an alarm is set off, a burglary alarm is set off. Right now, we're a fire alarm, the fire department can get into it, for some reason, our police department can't get into that call box. And so, and there's only been like 2 calls or in the past, maybe in the past year, maybe 2 calls at the library, so it's not a big deal, but. The last time they had to call one of the employees and the employee said, no way, it's 12:30 at night and I'm not coming down there. And I don't think anybody here wants me trying to play police. It's only 2 blocks away to come down and do it either. So we'll work to get you guys, the police department, the access to do that. Silly little thing, right?
Thank you. Councilwoman Engelhardt.
Thank you. I wasn't planning on mentioning this, but, Councilwoman Rossetti mentioned the Mother's Day afternoon tea at the Samuel Fleming House. It is, there is, the honoring, Edna Pedrick. That is from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 11th. And with that, dedication to Edna as well. So love to see you there. The Fleming House this week, including, last day is tomorrow, has been just amazing. The volunteers have hosted over 525 students, teachers, and chaperones in 4 days. They have toured around all the 5th graders from Rifus. It's a traditional field trip for these kids every year, and they get very excited about it. I was honored to be there last week. They asked really tough questions. And they were just amazing. More importantly, I want to thank particularly Kelly and the other really dedicated volunteers of the Samuel Fleming House. These ladies do 16 tours per day times 4 days from 8 a.m. to almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I did it one day and my feet were killing me. I don't know how they did it. And they're dressed up in all colonial garb. So it's fabulous, and we're really grateful for that and a great liaison project with us and the school district. Councilwoman Rossetti also mentioned the 2 Come Here and Tidy Up. I want to thank all the volunteers that came over Specifically, I want to thank, teacher, Andrew, Avalone, who is the Habitat Club advisor for, 100 Central High School. And their, about 8 to 10, high school students came over. They were amazing. They were by far the biggest volunteer group. They, and all of the volunteers were amazing. But in particular, the Raritan Valley Habitat for Humanity group, led by Tamara Gilo, and Jessica Abbott, who happens to be also a Flemington resident. So thank you, Jessica, got these kids over. They, all the volunteers, they did weeding. We spread mulch on the 2 playgrounds, weeded everything. We repaired, the broken, railroad ties, so there's no impalement, possibilities from, old, rebar sticking out. So we got that, no kids are gonna get impaled. We collected garbage, we threw out the old soccer net, all 3 of them that were there since COVID. The kids were going through pricker bushes, pulling nets out. And then this morning, all the DPW guys, you have a big thank you, because then they went out and picked up all the garbage and cut up those soccer nets. So I have a thank you. Also, I want to personally thank the Whitley, Engelhart and Rossetti families, because we were out there and donated stuff. But most importantly, Julia Whitley, who was the representative from, and I want to get this right, AmeriCorps, the AmeriCorps, she's an AmeriCorps ambassador for the New Jersey Geo and Water Survey program. She documented what we did yesterday. We collected 288 pounds of bag trash, including large pieces of debris, 2 tires, 3 regulation soccer goals and nets that I mentioned, volleyball net, a car battery, home plates, a post driver, and boogie boards, 60 pounds of recycling, and 247 pounds of weeds and debris. We also painted 3 picnic tables, repaired 3 benches, replaced the rotting railroad ties, as I mentioned, and spread mulch at the swing set and the playground. So please, everybody, get your kids out there and enjoy it. And I do want to do a shout out to Councilman Rossetti. She can swing a sledgehammer like nobody's business. And we have the photography to prove it. I do. She was great. Very quickly, I know it's on the agenda today, the consent agenda for the fireworks. So the date is July 3rd, with the rain date July 5th. We are currently soliciting donations. The fireworks committee have gotten several commitments, but we still need a few more donations to put us within our budgetary goal as well. Please be aware that the high school is doing a new superintendent search right now. So please check out the Central High School website, because there's been a lot of meetings, Zoom meetings, to kind of get familiar with the candidates that are being interviewed for that process. So thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
So I just want everybody to know the newsletter is out. Printed, that's out there, and Jeremy has his. I'm asking all the council members to take a bunch and test around in your neighborhoods. I think it's really important, and Rob is going to work with me on getting it to the businesses. I really like all of them to get out this time. We've got a plan, so they're out there. They're in your office?
No, in the closet.
Okay, so I'll ask Carla to pull them out before we leave. So if you guys can just take a bunch and distribute them, that'd be a big help. Because I'd like to get out, because this newsletter focuses on us and the professionals. Not that class is the important thing now, but I just want everybody to know who we are. And the last thing is that we are going to plan the swearing in ceremony of the promotions for the police officers. So
May 1st.
May 1st?
5 p.m.
May 1st.
May 1st at 5 p.m. at the Storm.
Yep.
at the historic courthouse. See what happens when I'm gone?
I got them.
Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. So May 1st, historic courthouse, we'll do the swearing. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, I just, before we get off Councilman Engelhardt, I just do want to give a shout out to Mark Kane, who has been hustling for donations to banks and to car dealerships and to ShopRite, and our one neighboring municipality. So he's been keeping me apprised about, every $5,000 and $1,000 donation he's been able to get. So he's been working really hard and trying to get the donations to cover this fee. So, okay, we're up to public comment period number 1. 3 minutes, and then you can have longer at the end.
I will be very quick.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
you guys have much for you to work for posterity.
It's not ready, you just got.
Here,
Oh, good. Okay, so very quickly, we had our first sip and stroll. It was freezing. People came bundled up. It was really very warm and very welcoming. People were thrilled to see each other. They were thrilled to go into the coffee shop. They were thrilled to go into the greenhouse home and garden shop, which is brand new. It was really sweet and community and a lovely event. And it bodes well for the future. We also had wonderful police detail at that event. And, it was really great. Everyone felt very comfortable and very excited about the new developments and the new level of activity or a return to a level of activity that was sorely missing without an anchor business, and coffee shop is anchor business in our community. It's really important that we have these anchor businesses. For our next sip and stroll, which is the 3rd Thursday in May, we are talking to some of our Latin businesses about doing a extended sort of Cinco de Mayo. Thank you, Tony, for your insistence that we work harder and smarter. And so we are actually working with Vanya Fern, who probably everybody knows for her delicious tres leches and other cakes, and she's helping us to coordinate this. So I think it's going to be great. And we don't have a sidewalk sale on Main Street until May. We were a little sad that we couldn't get one happening in April, but we hope that that's a return to some more activity for the businesses on Main Street. It has been an incredibly quiet time, since the winter for our businesses. So, we really need our community to come back out and shop and say hello.
We do something in conjunction with the townwide yard sale, which is the first weekend in May, and get the businesses to maybe put stuff out there too and have a promotion for you. Because I don't think we put it in this newsletter. So if you can
I
promote
don't have
it,
that date on our calendar.
yeah, it's the whatever the first weekend in May.
Yes.
Third,
We
fourth,
have-
or second and third, or something like
I
that.
mean, we are nonstop from Memorial Day weekend forward to Christmas. We have
Right.
so many.
But if they
events.
know it's
Yeah.
a nice partnership to have the businesses put out, do a sidewalk sale. Since there's the town yard yard sale, and like I said, if you could promote that on your site,
Sure.
get it out to your people,
We
that
can
would
do that.
be good synergy.
Robin, when's the next board meeting?
Not until the 3rd week of May. Yeah,
My suggestion would be is just send an email out.
Sure.
Email blast, and just we can follow it up.
yeah.
Follow it. I actually think that's a great idea. I think that would really work. Get them embedded into.
Like something on the street.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
Well, they want to do more.
Right.
So-
Yeah, I
So many
absolutely agree.
people come.
And you know what, and you
about
gotta give,
the
and some of the
process.
reasons why it's quiet, we had a lot of rain
Right.
on Saturdays and Sundays in April, so even if they have because I know that, Karen tried to do something and
Yeah.
it rained. I mean, I felt so bad for her. She had been planning for
It
this for a
hasn't
long
been
time.
easy.
So,
that's for
so,
sure.
you know, obviously weather does something with it, but I really want to say thank you for reaching out to the Latin community. That's so important, and I keep getting feedback from them, so thank you, thank you, thank
You
you.
are welcome.
Can I
And I would say, let's just, I'd be interested in kind of just keep me informed on who is saying yes and who's not responding, so I can jump on that.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Good.
I just wanted to mention last year, there was a lot of requests to post the locations of the yard sale addresses. And I think we did that online somehow on Facebook, and I'm wondering if we could coordinate that again.
I don't think I was here, but.
I don't remember, I honestly don't remember how it was done, but we did post it somehow. Do they have to register with the town?
They don't,
No.
not.
No, not for
Not for the-
I think
Just for.
I think last year what we did is said, if you want us to advertise where you're located, drop, there was a reach out to town hall. If
Yeah, I
you
think that was
want your,
done.
I mean, you know, we can put together, Carla and I can put together, I'm happy to
I
take
think a Google
take that,
form.
I'm happy to work with Carla and put it on the Facebook page and with Trent on the website, if that's
Yeah,
okay with everyone.
word out to people.
Right, just to, at least if they register with us, we will advertise your location and we can coordinate with. I'm happy to take that on if you would like.
So there's two things. Last week I went to the Teen Arts Festival.
Oh, I heard.
And I heard about.
Over there.
Oh, yeah, I went, the Teen Arts Festival came back to Hunterdon County, it hasn't been in Hunterdon County in decades. And, Cultural and Heritage brought it back to the library, it was spectacular. And I went for all of the Rifus and the Hunterdon Central bands playing, and it was pretty impressive, and Ben was one of the adjudicators of the owner of the new coffee shop. And he and I were so impressed by the jazz bands from Hunterdon Central. They were so incredible, and he was recruiting. We were talking about having, you know, I mean, the kids were, I mean, really, really talented, and certainly, you know.
Speaking my language.
So, oh my God, it was amazing.
My
It was
language.
amazing. So, the other thing, Robin, is, food truck ordinance. Are we gonna see a version, or do we have to do it ourselves?
We've tinkered with one, but
We've got to raise the fees.
Sure.
Got to raise the fees.
I-
When Rami's is paying $7,000 a year in taxes, and a piece of food truck can pay $250 and go unlimited by invitation,
no,
it's not right.
Yeah.
It's not right.
unlimited in terms of days and location.
It's not right. So we've got to get that addressed sooner rather than later.
I 101%.
So please.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's bad.
No, per time it would be better $250 per time, but it's $250 for an entire year.
$275.
$75.
That's
Oh,
still
but
much.
$25 is that the price for people.
But,
So,
as we always say, because we do try to limit, the number of food trucks we have at like a sip and stroll, and we try to complement a food type that's not,
Right.
available in a brick and mortar. You know, brick and mortars pay for food, whether it rains, snows, pours, nobody
Right.
comes in.
The food trucks
They
don't
have a
show up.
lot of overhead
Right.
and a lot of staff, and they have to always be
Right.
prepared, and that's really where it's.
So can we just do this then? Here's my suggestion. Can you put something together and let's kind of go through this so that we can get this in front of the council sooner rather than later?
I think that sounds great.
Can you and Ally and team come up with something and just like, if you send it to me, I can kind of read over it and figure it out and then we can bring it to council. So can we get that done before the next council meeting?
Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thanks so much, Robin.
Thank
Good to see ya. We're on this one tonight. Okay, you're a lot of guests once in a while.
I'm just hanging by a thread here.
I know. Consent agenda, resolution 2024-71, resolution for the Tyler Martin, the safety member of Borough Fire Department. I think this means to say fire, right?
Yes.
I just don't write over.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fire department, right? Okay.
Fire of the park, yes.
Resolution 2024-72, resolution approving fireworks on July 3rd, 2024, rain date July 5, 2024, authorizing road closures and waiving the permit fee. Resolution 2024-73, resolution requesting permission for dedication by rider for police canine donations and fees required by NJS 48:5-29. Resolution 2024-74, resolution requesting permission for dedication by rider for the historic committee donations and fees required by NJS 48-5-29. Resolution 24-75, resolution requesting permission for dedication by rider for council on affordable housing fees required by NJSA 48:12A-3 at SAC 3, 4, and 5 were submitted by our CFO as part of the budget process. Does anybody want any of these taken off separate consideration?
I have a question about
Yeah.
2024-74.
Okay, then we're gonna hold 2024-74. Can I have a motion to approve 1 through 3 and number 5?
Before that, I don't want to pull anything off, but could we just get a quick explainer of what dedication by rider means?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sure. You want,
I'm happy to do it.
You're
Our bills here too. I mean, I got all this.
Brian.
The budgetary device that allows contributions to be made outside of. I feel bad saying it because Bill Hanson are yours. No, all yours. You're the CFO.
But yeah, basically, it's a way for us to, these are items that are donations, and it's a way to set up a special account to accept the donations and use them. So it can cross budget years and things like that, and doesn't affect the budget as a whole.
Library.
It could
be anything.
It could be anything, and that's what, these all came up from the state reviewing our budget, and they said that these are ones that we didn't have in place at the time, so we have to, in order for us to adopt the budget, we have to put these in place.
So you already have riders set up for things like Adrian, Adrian just said, the library, but these are items that aren't addressed yet.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't
what
feel-
historic, and my question is what historic
So
committee?
the historic donations are when you do the events, like when we have that historic tour, and you bring in that money, that the people pay, that's where it goes. So that-
But I mean, there is no formal historic committee, so shouldn't, I guess shouldn't it say Historic Preservation Commission? I guess that's what I'm questioning here. Is that the right
Yeah,
wording?
whatever, yeah, I guess when we originally
Well,
set
this
it
is,
up.
wait, but who is this, is this for Preservation Commission, or is this for Samuel Fleming House?
No, he was
It's
saying
both.
the boards.
HPC.
Yeah,
That's
that's
for HPC, yeah.
Then it should say Historic Commission.
That's why I asked to be pulled it off, because it's confusing. It could easily be, like, I didn't know if it was for the Fleming House or for the HPC, so I think it's.
So on the-
We're gonna amend it to the Historic Preservation Commission donation.
Perfect.
Okay. So you don't need that pulled anymore?
No, I don't need it pulled anymore. That was my simple vote.
So that's the.
Okay. All right. All right, so with the amendment to resolution 2024-74 to change the dedication by right of board Historic Preservation Commission donations, can I have a motion to approve 1 through 5?
Long move.
Is there a second?
Sorry, second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Engelhardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasaro?
Yes.
Councilman Levitt?
Yes.
Council President Long?
Yes.
Councilman Parker?
Yes.
And Council Vice President Rossetti?
Yes.
We're up to introduction of ordinances, ordinance 2024-08, an ordinance creating chapter 9C entitled privately owned salt storage. This is a requirement by the DEP. Briefly, it makes sure that privately owned salt storage, like landscaping companies that do snow plowing or whatever, secure their salt and don't have it next to any of our stream corridors. If you didn't want to read the long lengthy version, can I have a motion to introduce?
Long move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Engelhardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasaro?
Yes.
Councilman Levitt?
Yes.
Council President Long?
Yes.
Councilman Parker?
Yes.
And Council Vice President Rossetti?
Was that a yes?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, public hearing to be scheduled for Monday, May 13th. Ordinance 2024-09, ordinance repealing and replacing chapter 21 entitled Stormwater management, again, this is required by the DEP. I can send you the red line as provided by Alex Fisher from Chris Corsini's office, read and approved by both Remington Burnick and Mike Campion. Can I have a motion to introduce?
I'll move.
Your second,
Sarah, second.
roll call, please.
Just ask a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris, as far as this ordinance, just for clarity's sake here, repealing and replacing this specific chapter for stormwater management, does this affect any of our current developments that are happening?
They'd be grandfathered in, and those are covered, I think, Mayor, in other parts of the code too.
So the
Right.
the DEP will say that any major development that is in the planning board phase is going to have to comply by all of your new rules. Liberty Village has been working with the DEP, so they are fine. Cardinal has been working with the DEP and finding it very difficult. I believe Captiva already had its permits. So, and that's in there, yeah,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
And every civil engineer in the state knew this was coming down prior to it coming down. So,
According to Cardinal, their civil engineer was quite taken off guard and wasn't prepared for it at all, which is why they're.
maybe they could have gotten different civil engineers.
So many problems, maybe. Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Yes,
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Jose.
Okay. Ordinance 2024-10, an ordinance amending chapter 25, collection solid waste to clarify collection procedures in areas in need of redevelopment. As per prior discussions, this removes our the borough will not be removing garbage from any residential dwelling in a redevelopment area that pays a pilot and not full taxes. Can I have a motion to introduce?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Marco second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
abstain.
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
No.
Council President Long,
Is it too late to ask a question?
Yeah.
I was just curious, the area in need of redevelopment, why specifically that and not just any development gets a pilot?
So in the ordinance I wrote, I just defined area in need of redevelopment and those developments that qualify for tax abatement separately, just in case in the future some future ordinance amendment wants to distinguish that. For the purposes of this amendment, they're one and the same. All your areas of need of redevelopment that are coming down the pipe have pilots.
Right.
There,
So they're
correct?
not- Yeah. So they're not
No,
like-
any do not have any? Any do not have a pilot?
No.
So you could have I wrote that very specifically. You could have a circumstance, not terribly common, we had an area of need of redevelopment that didn't qualify for long-term tax abatement. You may at that point, because they aren't getting the benefits of the long-term tax abatement, decide to treat them like you treat from Gap and all those other places and treat them as an occupant under the ordinance as opposed to a resident or a tax.
This was
That-
exactly my concern.
That will leave it open to do that if you wanted to, in the future. You would just have to amend the ordinance to include that specific development. Hopefully anyone was here the last time. This was 2019, it was amended, and it broke out, it eliminated the definition for multifamily home, and then it broke out each of your multifamily homes separately, the ordinance. I don't know. why.
Prospect Hill. and-
Yeah, well, they're all in there individually, right, which is the way of doing it. It's fine. I'm all with it. So in the future, if you do an area need of redevelopment, you don't give a long-term tax payment, you just amend that name of that development. But they would get municipal garbage all the same. This only excludes, I think under logic, that because a tax payment is being given, that is a benefit that the average taxpayer is not getting, the trade-off would be that they pay for their own garbage. Correct, Mary?
Correct.
So essentially, it's actually saying that the redevelopers will take care of their own trash.
So long as they have a long-term tax abatement.
Right,
If they
so
don't,
22 years.
we come back
when
with
the
right.
village goes away,
No,
they'll get the track, they'll get
I
track.
understand.
we come back to the drawing board.
I understand, so they can't have it both ways, they got it,
What?
Because that's.
Yep.
I mean, so.
Yeah.
20 years?
I guess it's going out constantly, and, if we break through our contract and we have to go back out to bid, which we're gonna have to do in 2 years anyway, the tipping fees are through the roof now, and recycling is costing us a bundle.
So, and that's a conversation that came up with DPW.
DPW is very much in favor of
Because
this.
they're so concerned about our fees of the waste fees and dumping fees, that it's absolutely ridiculous. And then it's gonna fall on the taxpayers, and everybody will be back in this room trying to justify why X, Y, and Z when they
Right.
find out that we had an opportunity to do the right thing and we didn't do it. I'm just saying.
Okay, so, Councilman
Long.
Council Law has not voted yet.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead with your roll call.
Oh, yeah, Councilman Parker
Yes.
and Council Vice President Rossetti.
I just have one quick question also. I just want to clarify. So when a pilot is completed, say 20, 30 years, so then we would be supplying them with removal? Dependent, like, I guess I'm just confused, because so if they have like a large dumpster, right? Like most townhomes would have, is that something our town would pick up as well?
Pay for the dumpsters now in several of the apartment complexes.
It does. So it's something that's already been done.
Well,
Okay.
In our ordinances, we pay for one for whatever apartment, each apartment building, we pay for one. And then if they need a second one, they have to supply it.
Okay.
So in the case of one of the apartment complexes, they have a machine that tamps down the garbage like really, really hard so that they don't have to put in another one and still overflow. But that's how this works. So we pay for the tipping fees anyway for all the apartments.
All the other apartments. Okay, great. All right, then yes, thank you for the clarification.
So
Clarification before I.
You can change.
the vote isn't closed yet.
You can change it.
Councilwoman, you can change your vote.
So I'll stay abstained, because I just wanna, I
Councilman
don't wanna
Zacharia,
make a
yes?
decision that quickly, that was the
Yes,
decision.
okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, thank you. Also public hearing on May 13. And this is in the agreement with Liberty Village that the homeowners association is going to be taking care of the garbage already. Public hearings, ordinance number 2024-3, calendar year 2024 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget cost of living allowance and to establish a cap bank when the COLA is equal to or less than 2.5%. NJSA 48:4-45-14. Adopt for changes. Bill, do you want to say anything about this?
Again, this is the appropriations cap that we have, allowing us to increase our budget by 3.5%. And basically what this is any amount that we don't go up at, we could bank for the next 2 years. And if we needed, we could use it in the next 2 budgets.
Okay, can I have a motion to open up the public hearing?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Parker, son.
Anybody from the public wishing to address online? Raise your hand or in the room. Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
All in favor of close the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2024-03.
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Parker, son.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Rossetti.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2024-7, ordinance amending chapters 4 licensing, 12 land development definitions, and 26 zoning. To clarify cottage food establishment is permitted use in the borough of Flemington. Can I have a motion to open up the public hearing to the public?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wish you to say anything on this ordinance? Raise your hand online. Seeing none, can I have a motion to close ordinance 2024-07?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-7.
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Parker, second.
Any discussion?
I just want to comment on this. I just think this is a really good thing. I think there's gonna be people in town who are gonna take advantage of this, who have been maybe looking for an opportunity. So this is for Flemington, that just makes sense. Just makes sense for us. So I appreciate all the work you've done on this. Sure. I know that we had brought this up and it's something that was right there. So that's all.
Good.
Thanks.
I agree.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt.
Yeah.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
Council Vice President Rossetti.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. So I just want to comment that on number 12, the 2024 budget, and then you'll see number 13, introduction of an amended budget. Bill, before we get into either of these, you want to just explain to the council about the amended budget and how this is going to work?
Yeah, all right, so as I had said before, the state reviewed our budget and there are some new things I guess they're doing this year. And so we had to make the changes that are in this amendment, which are things like adding grants and stuff like that, but they all have offsetting revenues. So this doesn't affect the tax rate, taxes, it doesn't affect the fund balance, you know, we're not using more fund balance. One of the things in it also is probably for the first time in the state, we have to amend the introduce capital budget to match what was in the water quality report that was
Yeah, that's
submitted,
for,
submitted by the engineer.
the DEP is now strong arming Treasury Department and DCA, local government services. Incredible.
So, so that, yeah, so they're requiring all this to be made in this amendment. So how it will work is we have to have the public hearing on the initial budget. You close that public hearing and then you motion to amend, and then you vote on the amendment and it's adopted. We can amend and adopt all tonight.
Okay, everybody understand that? Any questions for Bill?
As, the letter, the email that you had sent, kind of explaining this earlier, this week or yesterday. That $1.4 million grant, that's not, you said you had to add some grants, is this included
No,
in
no,
that?
that is not in there. That just came in.
I realize that, yeah.
These are grants, like the body armor grants, small grants. That will go into play once we, yeah, I know we just got the letter of award, but
Right,
once we're ready to do it, then we can put that into our budget with a chapter 159, which is how we normally would do it.
right.
Do it after, but.
I just wanted to clarify that that wasn't in there.
Okay, so we're gonna have a public hearing on the budget. We're gonna close the public hearing. Then we're gonna make a motion on the amendment, not on the budget.
Correct.
To
Motion to
adopt.
amend,
To
motion
amend,
to amend the budget and then that for the resolution, and then you vote on that, and
that is the
the
budget.
budget.
Okay, so it's just one vote,
Correct.
right? Okay. Got it. So, so this is the public hearing for the budget. Can I have a motion to open up the hearing, the budget, the hearing?
Long move.
Is there a second?
Parkinson.
Anybody from the public have any comments about the budget online? Raise your hand, please. Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing for the budget?
Long move.
Is there a second?
Parkinson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Someone has a motion.
I need to have a motion to amend the budget, please.
Yeah, motion to amend yeah, because you
Okay.
closed the public hearing,
Yeah, okay,
now it's motion to amend.
okay.
Okay, can I have a motion to amend the budget?
Long move.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Can I have a roll call on the amended budget? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You're right.
So I just want to understand procedurally, if we vote yes on this next,
You're voting for the budget.
you're voting for the budget completely, not just
Correct,
for the amendment.
voting to adopt the budget at this point, with the amendment.
Right, can I have a roll call, please, to vote on the budget, amended budget?
Oh, roll call, I'm sorry. Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Rossetti.
Yes.
And I just want to, for the public, for the record, just read some budget points. Between 2019 and 2021, municipal taxes went up 7.4%, which included a 3.5% increase in 2019, 2.7% in 2020, and 1.7% in 2021. There was no increase in the 2022 mayoral election year. The 2023 budget increased the tax rate by 2.25%, and through careful and conservative operational spending, paid down debt by $681,037, or 5.69% of borough debt. The 2024 budget increases the tax rate by 2.08%, which will permit the borough to continue to aggressively address our high debt issue. The municipal tax per 100,000 of assessed value is $1.059, or $0.0216 increase from 2023. Again, that's 0.0216, not even 0.02 or 2% increase based on the value of the average house in Flemington. This equates to about a $73.44 increase. The increase per 100,000 assessed value is $21.59. Several major cost categories went up, worth noting, including another increase in the cost of public health insurance, municipal pension contribution, trash removal, and recycling. This budget aggressively replenishes the capital fund, which had been depleted from $600,000 in 2019 down to $93,000 in 2023. By the end of 2024, the borough should have approximately $333,923 in the capital fund. This budget aggressively pays down principal on financing notes in the amount of $309,130, avoiding costly and wasteful interest payments. The borough avoids paying over $100,000 in interest payments and thus avoids a more than 6% tax increase over a 3-year period. In 2024, we will pay off $614,130 in debt principal, or 5.5% of our total debt again. This budget continues to keep the borough on track of financial soundness and positions us to pay off debt and plan for future capital projects, such as the long overdue Main Street project, fixing the wet weather facility, Academy Street, finishing the new police facility, and at least one additional well, while doing so with a stable and predictable financial environment. We have appropriated $592,940 in capital projects in 2024 to fully fund projects rather than issue debt. With an anticipated pilot in the Union Hotel project starting in 2025, income from cannabis licenses started last year and will increase this year, and pilot payments from the future Liberty Village project. We look forward to a future which allows us to structure a flat budget with no tax increases for several years. I want to thank Bill for all the hard work he's done, for helping me with these notes, and for just doing an extraordinary job as always for the borough, keeping us financially sound. Thank you. Okay, under the regular agenda resolution. What? Resolution 2024-76, resolution authorizing the borough of Flemington to enter into a water preservation agreement with BSD Homes. That's the Spice Factory, for anybody who doesn't know that. Flemington LLC pursuant to chapter 11-2.6. Can I have a motion to approve? Is there a second?
And Colbert will second.
Any questions? Chris is still working on that ordinance.
We had a lot of stuff coming in this week, man, as you know.
Yes. Lots of
I'm
stuff.
excited.
You're about to talk about it.
Yes.
So we'll get to that one probably next.
Next,
Next
on the 13th. Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Hope.
Yes.
Okay, we're up to public comment number 2. Anybody from the public or online wishing to say anything, raise hand or raise hand. Nope. Seeing none. Payment of bills, authorizing payment of bills in the amount of $1,565,182.05. Can I have a motion? Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Hope.
Yes. We have an executive session. We have negotiations under Liberty Village, Cardinal, Amiana, Captiva, and we have potential litigation or personnel matter. And following executive session, there probably will be action being taken, which is ordinance 2024-11, which is number 9 on the agenda. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Move.
For a second,
Engelhardt will second.
all in favor? We'll take a 5-minute, 6-minute break and go right into executive session. Bill, you're gonna that. Okay, so we're back in open session. We do have an actionable item, which is ordinance 24-11, which we held from earlier in the meeting. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance 24-11?
Engelhardt moves.
Is there-
Long will second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
Council Vice President Rossetti.
Thank you. Public hearing to be held on May 13th. And we have a motion to adjourn. Your second, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, this meeting broke up a full almost hour earlier than I thought it would. Thank you, everybody.